All right, Mary. Roots Memphis.
Yes.
I'm curious to know what that's all about. Could you enlighten us, please?
Yes, thanks. Roots Memphis is a farmer training program right here in Memphis, but we train farmers in smaller scale sustainable agriculture. So our program has 3 parts, what we call business, incubation, and then launch. We take people who think that they want to be farmers.
Okay.
Train them in a 6-month intensive business planning course.
Wow.
If they complete a business plan, we transfer them into the incubation part of our program, where we start out small, give them a 1/4 acre plot where they follow their business plan. And if they have 3 years to show us 2 years of profitability. And if they can show us 2 years of profitability, we help them launch their business by providing them with branding and marketing services, with legal help, access to financing, access to land, whatever they need in order to be a full-time farmer.
Wow, pretty impressive.
That is.
Hey, man, really intensive program.
It is.
So let's look at some statistics here. So the average farmer is
67 years old in Tennessee.
in Tennessee.
And that age is increasing. So it's if we would like to continue eating in the future, we need to continue training new farmers. And especially in Memphis, our city doesn't have the same kind of access to like fresh fruits and vegetables that other cities have better access to. So our farmers are focused on mainly the fresh, chemical-free produce.
Wow, sounds pretty good. And Mr. D, of course, knows a lot about farming here. So
Yes.
yeah, this sounds like a real good program, though.
Yeah, I've worked with a lot of farmers in my career, 32 years, and like you said, the average farmer, you're not the typical farmer.
No.
The average farmer, and I was going to guess 58 to 60. You say it's 68 now?
67, according
67
to
years old?
the UT,
Yeah, UT
Extension
Extension.
Service.
That's pretty alarming because that's a source of worry for
Yes,
me.
yes.
We've got to have some young folks
Yes.
involved.
So how do people get interested? I mean, how do they sign up, to become part of Roots Memphis?
Right. A lot of people hear about us a lot of different ways, through word of mouth, through social media, through some of our other media outreach events. And people come to our program with a lot of different interests. Some people have started a career and have thought, I can't spend another day sitting in front of a computer screen. We have people that come to us who have started some college classes but think, maybe this path isn't quite for me. We have some people who've always known that they want to be farmers, but they end up finding us, and it's great. Everybody who comes through our program ends up saying, like, I've wanted something like what you're doing, and thank you. I didn't know it existed. So. We take people that either have known early on or figured out later that really being outside, being their own boss, working in the fresh air, working in something that's not only productive and useful, but like a benefit to our city and kind of the surrounding county is something that they really have a passion for. So it's really a privilege to get to help them put that to use.
Oh, that's a good deal. So how many students do you take at a time?
We do up to 10 per class. We want very specialized services for our students. We've moved 9 farmers on now from our business planning into incubation.
Okay.
We're a new program, so this coming year will be the last year in incubation for some of our farmers, and we'll work on helping them launch after that.
Okay. So you started Roots Memphis when?
We started it in 2012, and Roots Memphis started out as an urban farm in Whitehaven, and I began thinking, like, if I can make some money off of an empty lot in the city, surely I can help teach other people how to do the same thing. We have plenty of land in the city and surrounding areas, and we have plenty of people who need work, who want something different, who want to make a positive impact in Memphis by working outside, working with their hands. So it just all seemed to make sense.
Wow. So somebody that has no background in farming can actually take this course and
you learn from the ground up.
Producing veggies. Okay.
And flowers.
And flowers.
So
okay,
we do
you
that
flowers
too.
as well. Okay. So what happens to the vegetables and the flowers then? After they grow it?
So we have a large CSA, and CSA stands for Community Supported Agriculture.
Okay.
And these are, through a CSA program, folks sign up at the beginning of the season, they become members of the farm, and then during the growing season, which for us starts April 25th this year, if the ground ever dries out, it'll start April 25th. And our CSA members get weekly bags of whatever is coming out of the farm. So it's in the springtime, it's your leafy greens and your root vegetables. In the summertime, it's your tomatoes and basil and eggplant and melons and that kind of thing. And we also we distribute flowers in a similar way. And we also we're working with some farmers markets as well as local restaurants to further distribute the produce and flowers.
Okay. So do they specifically grow out of the land that you have at Whitehaven, or are they at Shelby Farms, or where are they located?
So while the program started out as just an old parking lot and an idea in Whitehaven, we have now grown and are continuing to grow, and we now partner with Shelby Farms Park Conservancy, and we have 10 acres out there and a greenhouse, and we are just growing rampantly out there, and it's great.
Wow, that's pretty good. 10 acres.
10 acres out there.
Okay. Now let me ask you this while we have a little time left. So why Root Memphis? What got you started? I'm curious to know.
I've always been interested in sustainable agriculture.
Okay.
When I was in high school, went and lived and worked on a farm in Kansas just because I was interested, and I got the bug. I was passionate about it, and now I work my dream job with Roots Memphis because I always wondered throughout, I started getting interested in agriculture in high school, and that has stuck with me since then throughout college and graduation, and I've been able to work on farms. But I always thought I really love education and I love teaching, and I always felt this internal struggle of what am I going to do? Am I going to teach or am I going to farm? And now I feel like the luckiest person in the world because I have the opportunity to do both every day, and I love it.
All right, Mary. Well, we appreciate that information. Glad
Thank
you could be with us
It's
today.
my pleasure. Thank you so much.
All right.